All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We are talking about the Los Angeles Chargers tonight, 34-27, home victory against the Cincinnati Bengals. Absolute cardiac arrest type of second half. 4 straight wins now for the Los Angeles Chargers, and I get it. They fumbled their halftime lead. They were up 24-6 at halftime. They extended that to 27-6 right with a field goal on their, I think, second possession of the third quarter, and they just kind of start to get a little bit sloppy. And to be honest with you, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals offense just put on a master class. But I'm only 25 years old, but the Chargers lose this game every single time my entire life, every single time. And I think it's a great sign of the culture shift and the just overall vibe and the self-belief that the resiliency, we could go on and on and on with just fun verbs about this new Chargers team. And it's true, man. I get it. One big nitpick for this Chargers squad is they haven't beaten anybody really of value. And by what I mean by that is, last couple of wins against the Browns, the Titans, the Saints, but they don't control their schedule, and they're still 7-3. And once again, they are on the short end of the stick of a football game like this my entire life. I mean, literally my entire life. So it's not perfect. Wasn't a sexy win. Wasn't supposed to. It really shouldn't. I mean, the fact you're up 27-6 at one point against Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Burrow, I mean, it's impressive. So I don't really care. A win is a win, because if you want to say, oh, we were too sloppy with it, we didn't deserve this victory. Like, I was at the Packers-Bears game yesterday, and, my Packers had no business winning that football game on the blocked field goal. But the point is, just imagine being on the other end of it. And all I care about in football and in sports is, did you win? Did you win the game? And that's exactly what the Los Angeles Chargers did. So let's talk about it. But before we do, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Let's try and get this video to 500 likes, folks. That would mean the absolute world to me. But yeah, we post at least 2 Chargers videos every single week on this channel. Check out my buddy Swaggy. He's got a daily Thunder channel. I'll pin it in the comment section. So Justin Herbert was insane in the first half. And we're kind of sitting here, at least I'm sitting here thinking, like, he was 71.4% completion percentage. He had 241 yards. He had 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a passer rating of 153.3. I was sitting here getting a little ahead of myself and thinking, how far can this team go? This is supposed to be like a year-to-year process. Year one, people were hopeful. I was hopeful that this Chargers team with the talent, because at the end of the day, we're sitting here thinking every Chargers game for ever since Herbert got drafted, honestly, is like, could you imagine him with the right coach? Yeah, could you imagine him with an offensive line? Could you imagine him with a weapon or two or a running back? And that's kind of my point here is, you guys know it, this is a process, right? So Ladd McConkey's done a phenomenal job. Quentin Johnston's had some moments for sure in this campaign. J.K. Dobbins is now, I mean, people after like week 1 and then week 2 and then after week 3 is like, when's it going to stop? When's it going to stop? When's it going to stop? And it just hasn't stopped. But the point is, I think they're top 5 next year in draft picks and cap space. So the point is, you're going to get that stud tight end. You're going to get that stud wide receiver. You're going to continue to fill out the offensive line interior with your guards. This team long-term, when you zoom out, it's kind of like Bitcoin. It terrifies me in a good way. It's like, oh my goodness, how good could this team go? And we kind of joked here in the offseason talking about this Harbaugh hire, and we're like saying, like, I feel like they're going to build a blueprint to take down the Kansas City Chiefs. And you zoom out, and once again, I won't get too far ahead of myself, but they're looking pretty good. So Justin Herbert, the second half was not friendly to him. 17-36, 297 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. In a game like this, if they had lost, it's not like it's the end of the world. He would have been 6-4. Playoff implications, since he would have been 5-6, you would have been 6-4. No one's really catching up to the Chiefs in the AFC West, in my opinion. So just point is, a win really is a win, but this felt like a playoff game. And what do you care about in playoff games? Do you care about Justin Herbert's completion percentage? Do you care about his quarterback rating? You care about the final score. And it just really felt like a playoff game. But Herbert, once again, 17-36, 297 yards, but a little over 240 of those were in the first half. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Now, he did have a really stupid fumble, and he brought it up post-game. He was saying, I got to be better with the football. Harbaugh loves no turnovers, and Justin Herbert hasn't thrown a pick in a really long time. He didn't turn the ball over in a really long time until last night. It hit like what was it, Logan Wilson? It hit his like shin. It was just kind of a weird play. Definitely got to be smarter with it. But Justin Herbert was actually the leading rusher. And I don't really mean that in a negative way because J.K. Dobbins only had 11 total carries. Gus Edwards had 6 for 27. But Justin Herbert had a 30-yard run. We kind of talked about this in our last couple of weeks, just saying Justin Herbert is healthy now. Like he's fully healthy. His legs are fully healthy. And you're starting to see him get mobile. And that's what he was last night. 5 carries, 65 yards, averaging 13 yards per carry. And then JK with the game clinching 29-yard touchdown run. They were on their way to kicking a field goal and win that football game. But that was the, what was it, cherry on top? Nail in the coffin. There we go. 11 carries, 56 yards, and 2 touchdowns for J.K. Dobbins. Receiving game, Ladd McConkey's having one of the quieter rookie years in general. When we talk about rookies, you talk about Bo Nix, you talk about Jaden Daniels, you talk about Caleb Williams struggles, mainly quarterback oriented, right? Ladd McConkey's having a beast of a rookie season. 6 catches, 123 yards. And I think the final possession, so it was wacky. The final 2 minutes, it's hard to explain. It was super wacky. And some way, somehow, the Chargers got the ball with like 58 seconds left, something like that, something around a minute. He throws 2 dots to Ladd. I think they went like, I think it was like 3 plays for 83 yards, 84 yards, something like that. The run to set up J.K. Dobbins' game-clinching touchdown was orchestrated by Justin Herbert and his connection to Ladd McConkey. And just Herbert kind of fizzled out in the second half, but when it mattered, these guys stepped up, whether it was J.K., whether it was Ladd, or especially Herbert, and especially also the offensive line. Will Dissly, 4 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. He's had a really nice stretch. A lot of people were thinking maybe the Chargers are going to go after Brock Bowers in the draft, and they end up going with Joe Alt. And Will Dissly, I think that would be kind of a nitpick for the Chargers is they don't have that stud, star power tight end, but Will Dissly had a phenomenal game. Quentin Johnston had a touchdown catch, 2 catches for 48 yards, but he also got targeted 8 times. Joshua Palmer, 2 catches for 23 yards. We're kind of running out of time here. The defense, the whole thing was they hadn't given up over 20 points in a football game, but they hadn't really faced a Burrow. And, I know the Bengals, you are what your record is. Like, I understand that, but it's Joe Burrow. And on any given Sunday, Joe Burrow can do what he did in the second half last night. But the defense, they bended a little bit, but they didn't break. The offense didn't really have first downs. Defense was kind of on the field the entire second half. So we'll talk about this defense in tomorrow's video, but they made plays when they needed to make plays. Like I said, all I really care about is the final score and who won that game, and the Chargers won it. So that's 4 straight, 7-3 Los Angeles. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. And guys, give me your thoughts, give me your recap or your opinion on that game down below. Give me your player of the game as well. Peace.